You ask about JUCY FM leads, and in this video I want to create one with you. The first step is that we select a cool wavetable. And the best wavetables for FMs you find in Digital and Serum, and we'll choose a nice one, which is not too thin, which doesn't have too much subby sounds, and actually kind of like covers the whole frequency range so that we can work with it. So for example, this is just covering this band here, at least in that wavetable position here. It's just like low mid, so we don't want to have that. You've seen they're all kind of like not covering everything. This has some potential, but it sounds a little bit square wavy. This one could be really nice, I think, but I'm not like 100%. I think this one has some nice potential. Let's look into the wavetable positions. So you see it already has kind of like that FM-ish sound, so we are kind of like on the way already with that. So we will choose this to make it easy for us. I will give it a little bit of unison. But you can do this to your taste. It's just like, it feels a bit wider from the beginning. And now we want to really boost all the harmonics and apply some distortion to bring the grit out of it. So I think Diode 2 is really nice. As we kind of like added all those high harmonics, we want to control it a bit more. So let's put an EQ in here, but be careful that you don't cut too much in the lows or in the highs, because you cannot really recover it and it will make it like harder later. So don't overgo it, just kind of like bring it a little bit into the range, boost some nice frequencies you want to have. Just shape it a little bit and accentuate what you really like on it. We're also a little bit too high in the octave, so we go down one octave. Yeah, that sounds way better. So you always need to check that you're kind of like in the right octave where you get the most out of the sound. Without the EQ. That's already really juicy, but we will make it even more juicy. So the next step is that we have a cool filter and we want to bring some movement into the filter to make the sound more interesting. Maybe choose a high pass filter here. We give it some resonance to kind of like when we sweep, so that we have the resonance kind of like moving here. Not too much. If you give it too much, it kind of like gets that digital sound. Screamy, and we don't want to have that. We want just like a little bit. That's already really cool. And that kind of like movement we want to simulate, so we put all of a 1 on it. You see it's a little bit too fast, so we need to take it down. And when it goes into the highs, the sound gets a little bit too thin, so we don't want to go so high. Maybe we start a little bit lower. That's already pretty cool, but now we are really static, so there are a few things you can do. For example, we could take the BPMs off here. And modulate the rate here with another LFO, for example. Or another option, which I think is a little bit more easy, is if we put note on random here, and then we have a little bit of random starting points as well. Already pretty cool, but because of the resonance we also get like quite high point here, so we want to control that. And that I will control outside of Serum here with Pro Q. Let's make this dynamic. Also I want to boost the highs here a bit. Okay, that's already quite cool. We don't need it that loud. Somewhere between here, peaking. Let's add some compression here. Okay, so we have kind of like a basic sound set up, and now we want to make it a little bit less raw because it's kind of like in the middle and it's appearing and disappearing. So we need some cool things to place it a little bit more in the mix later. So we'll add some delay and we'll add some reverb. So let's bring on delay, and as we don't have any stereo width at the moment, I want to make it ping pong. That's quite a difference. Really cool. Now let's listen together with all the other stuff I have here. I will add a little bit of reverb as well. Now we place already better in the mix, but it's quite loud, so we need to compress it a little bit more. Maybe let's add a second compressor here. I think now we're getting better, and we'll add a second layer to make it even more interesting, and also to kind of like fill up a little bit the harmonics we don't have yet, or we want to add a little bit more. Put this also one octave down, and we'll choose a different wavetable. We will go to the analog wavetables so that we not have kind of like this totally the same. We want to kind of like have something complementary. And we will mix it in with the levels so that we don't want to have the same levels. We want to have the levels chosen by how we want to have them sounding together. And now we'll add some more FX to make it even more interesting. So we could add a flanger, for example. Phaser. This is really cool, I think, the phaser. Also modulate this a little bit. I think we're still going sometimes very high here. Maybe you could also modulate the wavetable a little bit to get a little bit of difference in there. So let's check that. Then let's take another look at our EQ and compression, because we changed a lot of things. So that actually could be also another option to make it more interesting, just like recording this modulation here and moving with the EQ through the patch. So all we would need to do for that is to map this little EQ here, and then we can record it. But something like that I usually do when I bounce it to audio that I have full control, because we have that random value and then maybe things overlap not so nicely. But just to mention it, it's a cool option you can do to make it more interesting in the end. And now I will put a flanger on here. And now what I would do with that, I would bounce it to audio or put like a second audio chain under here and record it so that I have all the shots really nice, because some of them are kind of like not really nice because whatever, the node on random is moving too far or whatever, the combination of things is not good there. And then you can kind of like replace the ugly parts with the good ones, and then you have like a full loop of really banging FM. I will upload the serum patch and the whole rack to my YouTube channel so that you can reverse engineer it, so all my members find it in the community tabs. Thank you for suggesting this video topic, and let me know in the comments what you want to know next. And we have some really cool live streams going on, so check out my video on the channel membership if you want to become one, and if you want to go deeper with your production, more personal, then we can focus more on topics like this maybe, or focus more on topics which you have in your tracks, and we will see us on the other side.